everyone, this is Mike.
Hey, and this is Josh.
And we are Real Dead, and we're
Yes.
coming the day after for me, but Josh, you just saw it within a couple hours ago, right?
Today, Abigail, in theater with my nachos and my drink and my Twizzlers.
And your wife's sleeping.
Yeah, my wife, I will say that right off the bat. My wife fell asleep during this movie. So I did not.
Your wife also works third shift, though, right?
Yeah.
So that could have had something that is, not felt good, and it wasn't anything to do about the movie. But hey, right off the bat, spoiler free at the beginning of this. At the end of this video, you can stop it if you hadn't seen it. If you want to see the spoilers, go ahead and listen to them. But spoiler free at the beginning, right, Josh?
Yes, and we will make sure to put something on the screen that it will be spoilers coming up. So
yeah,
but
I don't like spoilers.
Right.
Josh does. I don't.
Yeah, I do. I'll watch spoilers. I don't give a care. But so this movie for me had a lot of hype, Mike. It had a lot of hype. I really liked the trailer. I did really like the trailer. I'll say I did really like the trailer until I saw the movie. Because then I'm like, dang. Like, without that trailer, like, the movie, I think, would have had a way more impact, in my opinion.
So let's just say this up front. Now, this probably is not going to happen if you're looking at this on YouTube. If you have not seen the trailer, do not watch the trailer.
Yeah,
go ahead and watch the movie.
Yeah, yes. So the trailer, Universal, yeah, they gave away. I mean, there's literally nothing. There's no surprises in the movie. Well,
you're kind of giving a spoiler up, ain't you?
Huh?
Are you giving a spoiler saying there's no spoilers?
No, I'm just saying, like, I guess there is, like, twists or whatever.
Right.
But, and that's all I'm saying. I don't think that's a spoiler, but there is still twists, but I don't think it's as impactful as what they give away in the trailer, which is Abigail's a vampire. So, yeah, I think that could have hit really hard, Mike, if we didn't know that going into this movie. And they actually played it as, like, a ransom type movie. And then it's not. It's like Dusk Till Dawn, where you go see a movie and you think it's like a crime action type movie. Then all of a sudden, halfway through it, bam, vampire flick. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think they could have played it different, but I still enjoyed the movie. I might have been bored in a couple parts of it, but I think Radio Silence does a great job with this movie. I really like Ready or Not. I liked, of course, Scream 5 and Scream 7. I think they did a good job of this movie, Mike. Overall, I think they did.
So I'm going to go ahead and read the movie info. And if Josh feels like this is a spoiler, I'll go ahead and cut it out and not play it later on. But if you're hearing this at the beginning, then we thought it was not. But this is the movie info. And all this pretty much you can kind of guess through the trailer that this is what it's about. So it says, after a group of would-be criminals kidnap the 12-year-old ballerina daughter of a powerful underworld figure, all they have to do is collect a $50 million ransom to watch the girl overnight. In an isolated mansion, the captors start to dwindle one by one and discover to their mounting horror that they're locked inside with no normal little girl. You kind of see that. You see that in the, and you kind of figure that out right off the bat in the trailer. But let's go back and say, spoiler free, what we like about this movie, without going in details of what happened in the movie. But I thought, Josh, the acting was incredible.
Yep,
the actors are really good in this movie.
Really good cast.
Yeah, and Melissa Barrera is awesome.
Yep. Yes. She's getting quite a resume in horror, I feel like.
Radio Silence, another thumbs up. Radio Silence.
I think that's 4 for me. I think I like every single movie they've put out.
Yeah. And I'm going to show you real quick what the Rotten Tomato score is. I know this just came out yesterday, so already off the bat, it's got an 89 and 82. Now, there's only 100+ people that's verified watched it. I'm going to go back and write my review on here because I got 2 years worth of I got to do. Abigail, 82 from the critics, 89 from those that have watched it. Josh, was yours a full theater when you watched it today?
So I went to a 10:45 showing. I like to go see the early show. The tickets are cheaper, and It's just, it's less crowded. But I would say we had about 15 people in there, Mike. Honestly, which usually we do not. Like when we go see, we went and seen Civil War at 11. There was like 8 people in there. We went and seen Imaginary. There was like 2 people in there with us, and then we went and seen Night Swim, and there was like nobody in there with us. So
we went on a Friday night, and it was probably at one time there was like 7 of us in there, but it ended up being between 30 and 40. So back to this movie. The acting's great. It's not a cheap film. What did we say? Around 27 million spent on it.
20, I thought it was 28 million.
Okay, 28 million spent on it. It's put together well. The music, the acting's great. The storyline, in my opinion, tells too much in the trailer.
I like the location.
Yep, it's a fun movie. I think it's a fun movie. If you love this type of universal horror type movies and vampires and stuff, I think it's worth going and see.
One of the things I like is where I feel like they're trying to, like, because vampires in this world, of course, aren't real, but they are. They didn't know that though. Mm-hmm. But they know about vampires what we know. Like they know what they've seen in the movies.
The typical.
So so they're like trying to figure out, like, does this work? Does this? I like that. I like that in a movie. When they do things like that in a movie. So
Josh, anything you did not like about the movie without going into details?
I thought I have watched a couple reviews before I went and seen the movie, and I think a couple people said it went a little long, and I do agree. I think it probably could shave about 15 minutes off this movie in different parts. I want to give a shout out to the little girl that played Abigail. Very good, very good actress, in my opinion, for her age. Really enjoyed her portrayal of Abigail. I do feel, like I said, I don't think there's anything. I thought all the special effects look good. The gore, I think all the characters were okay. I would say that's a negative. I would say that I feel like they wasted a couple of characters, in my opinion, like that we didn't get much from. That's all.
So real quick, I mean, we got the directors here. We got Melissa Barrera, Dan Stevens, who also just played in Kong and Godzilla. You got Catherine Newton,
he was
William
good in
Catlett, Kevin Durant, Angus Cloud, who has passed away now.
Yeah,
one of his last movies he played in it. I think he was in his mid-20s. Alicia Ware, which is Abigail, Matthew Good, and then Esposito, and there's some other ones in here too. Let me see if I see any more down here. That was most of these are producers, executive producers, but great cast. I'm about ready. Okay, let's go ahead and tell. We're at the end of the non-spoiler.
Yeah, I'm ready for spoilers.
Give it your rating though. What would you give it, Josh?
Out of 10, I'm gonna give it a 6.
Okay,
solid 6.
Wow, you're a little lower than me. Okay, I'm going to give it a 7.
Okay.
I didn't think it was horrible. I thought it was. I like the ballerina. Everybody knows she's a ballerina thing. I like the ballerina moves in it. I thought it's worth going and seeing. I went and saw it with my wife and my son. My son was interested in maybe seeing a prequel to this. My wife, when she first watched it, and she's not big into horror movies, she was like, I don't know if I like it or not. And then the more she thought about it on the way home, when we got home, she's like, I think I kind of did like it. So I don't know. Maybe that's telling you not to go see it. I don't know. But let's get into the spoilers right now. Alert.
Spoiler
alert.
So,
all right, Josh, go ahead.
I want to just say that 2 characters I don't think they use very well, and that's you said Esposito or whatever, that the guy that like was making the job technically, and he turned out to be a vampire or whatever.
His name was Lambert in the movie.
Yeah, he didn't he's a really good actor, and he didn't have much to do here. And I thought, like, what's the point of putting him in here? He's a known actor. Like, I don't know. And then the other guy, the Marine, like he got killed so quick, you didn't really know anything about him. I thought he was going to be like a BA in a movie. He turned out he was nothing. I mean, he was taken out quick. Those 2 actors I felt like got wasted, in my opinion. But maybe they could have had a couple more characters as like fodder to just be killed. You know what I mean?
Well, it looks like, I mean, they spent their time on Melissa Barrera. which played
Yeah.
Joey in the movie.
Yep, and she was she was a junkie.
Yep, Dan Stevens, who's Frank.
He was
Catherine
a detective.
Yeah, Catherine Newton, who was Sammy, and Kevin Durand, who played Peter. Those were really and the main Alicia Ware, who played Abigail.
Yep.
Those, in my opinion, are the four that they really focused the most of the movie on, in my opinion.
Yeah, and then I felt like it's like Dracula shows up at the very end, and it's just kind
I kind
of
of wish he would have never shown up. And they could have set it up for another movie or something.
It's anticlimactic. I feel it didn't need to happen, and I do like that he says they were like, "Oh, you're this guy," and he goes, "I've been gone by many names over," like that, basically saying, "I am Dracula." Like that's Dracula.
So they got Dracula kind of like he's this mobster guy that's like a millionaire that runs all these type things behind the scenes. I mean,
I like that.
Yeah, I mean, they got him as like this, and then the storyline's not bad. They talk about how the detective in here is an undercover detective and has a couple of his, kingpins in to be, charges pressed against him. And then all of a sudden they find them the next day and they're slaughtered. And then throughout the movie, it comes out Abigail finally towards the end of it says, "I'm the one that came in there and destroyed them, or I've ripped them to pieces."
Well, it turns out that Abigail, this is all a big game just to entertain Abigail. And she kills her father's enemies, no matter how small of a thing they've even done. Like the one guy stole money from a crime family that was just associated with her father's, crime family. And so he had to die. It's like she knew every little bit about these people, and she has the time, obviously. And
let's go back kind of what we said in the first one. I do think the trailer gave up way too much. To me, there was nothing in here that really. There was a couple of twists and turns in the story, about him, Dracula being like a gangster type, mobster type guy. Yeah, I mean that's not really that big of a surprise to me. You already knew she was, the vampire. She was Abigail. I just didn't think nothing jump scared me at all. I know you had one jump scare. I wasn't scared. I wasn't terrified. To me, it was a fun, campy thing. And then all of them are bad guys. All of them have done something bad. Let's go through them real quick. You kind of said it. So Melissa Barrera was a junkie, right? She was a med in the military, but was kind of a junkie.
She got addicted to opiates while in the military.
And she left her family and she left her little boy and she never went back to see him.
And what she did for a job was she, in the underground world, because you get injured, you don't take people to the regular hospital. She would,
she took care
work on them. Yes. And then
Dan Stevens who played Frank. He was an ex-detective, right? And then kind of undercover detective. And
dirty cop. Yeah.
Dirty cop wanted the money and started doing things for the money. Catherine Newton she came from a rich family, and she was like tapping in and stealing money and stuff from, rich people.
Yep. And from some of her father's businesses, I guess. So that's why she was there.
And then Rickles.
She was really good in it. Yep. Oh, Mike, how about that scene where she fell in that pool of bodies, dude?
That reminded me of Poltergeist back in the day. Is that 100 times worse?
Ew, dude, that was sick.
That was pretty sick. They were bloated up and everything. What about Rickles? He was the military guy, right? What did he do wrong? I'm trying to remember real quick.
He was just like a mercenary or something, right?
Yeah, I think. Was he?
Yeah, but he was already dead by the time she was telling what everybody did. He died.
Yeah, well, remember Joey went around too saying what everybody did.
Yeah, but she just said Semper Fi. I don't want you to go any further.
She knew it though. She was pretty good too.
He was just like a Marine that's probably like a mercenary, like on the side, You
got Kevin Durand who played Peter. He was kind of cool. a dummy Russian guy, right? That was kind of the muscles behind.
Yeah, he was like a muscle for like a mob family or something, or a crime family.
Angus Cloud, who played Dean.
He was the wheelman.
Passed away. Yeah, he's a wheelman, and he was not. He was just a junkie,
He drew a penis on that one guy's face while he was sleeping. That was funny, dude.
That was funny. That was very funny. And then you had Esposito, who played Lambert.
He was just like a mid-level boss.
Right.
Right.
So on the spoilers of this, Josh, anything that you really liked and you really hated? We kind of talked about stuff we liked earlier without spoilers, but anything you
Right.
really liked about this?
Oh, I like how the vampires, like, when they get they just explode viciously, and like if they hit with a wooden stake to the heart, they explode. Hit with sunlight, they explode. Yeah, I thought that was really cool. But it did remind me of how they died in Ready or Not when those people at the end just exploded. So yeah.
Yeah, that reminded me, and there was a little bit of a, had a little bit of a Evil Dead from many of the Evil Deads feel to it, because the amount of blood at the very end of this, the third act,
Oh
with them
yeah.
exploding, and then no, there was a cool scene I thought where she was dancing with a body that didn't have a head.
Yeah, it was cool. I didn't like it when Frank turned into a van. I didn't think Andiah was that great to me.
Right.
What did you think of that?
Yeah, he was the one that wanted the power, so I guess that's why they turned that story around at the end, that even when he wasn't a vampire, he wanted the power and he wanted to be in charge. And I don't think he was a strong enough person to be a vampire, in my opinion. He wasn't like I don't know. I do think this movie would be better if, number one, they didn't show so much in the trailer. That's not the movie's fault. That's the company's fault. Nothing against the actors or anything like that. I do think they've set this up. They could set it up for another one coming out. I would have even liked the end of it being seeing Melissa Barrera as a vampire. That would have been, they both would have walked off together or something. That would have been cool in my mind.
Maybe she's going to be a vampire hunter now or something. But listen, I think Anthony, I think your son's right, because Abigail even alluded, like they said something about her being a vampire or acting like a little kid, and she said, "I've had several centuries to perfect it." Like, so they have been alive for a long time, and you could do a lot with that, in my opinion.
Yeah, my son was saying after the movie, as we're driving home, he's like, "I'd like to see a prequel where how she became a vampire." Now, I do think the vampire at the very end, Matthew Good, I don't know him from any other movies. I think I've seen him in something, but I just wasn't a big fan of him as Dracula either. I don't know. Maybe I pictured somebody different.
Well, I thought it was going to be like a big actor or something, because I was like, because they were like panning away from his face, and then like when they showed like the statues of him, like he had a hat on and it was covering his face. So I'm like, well, maybe it'll be like an actor.
I was hoping that he was like there the whole time asleep, and then he would just come out. Like maybe the statue was really him and he just turned in and walked out. But they kept showing that statue with the little girl, and I'm like, what is so significant? I knew it was them, but I was like, is there something more behind this? I don't know. But so you said earlier you gave it a 6?
Yeah.
Okay. Josh, what's your final thoughts? Is it something you think we should go see it in the movie theater or not?
I think go see it in a movie theater. It's a fun movie. Go get a bucket of popcorn, a soda, and pop, and go have a fun time at the movie. I feel, that's just how I feel. Like I said, my wife, she didn't like it at all, actually. She told me, I would never watch it again.
Wow. I said I thought it was worth watching, worth going to see it in the movie theater, especially if you're a vampire fan. It's fun. It's not a serious horror movie, in my opinion. It's got the horror aspects of it, of the blood and, vampires and stuff like that. It's not one that if you're wanting to go get terrified or scared to death, I didn't think it was nothing to do like that. But
nope.
All right, Josh, appreciate it, man. Have a good one. Y'all please like, comment, subscribe to Real Dead. Also join us on our Facebook page, Real Dead Horror Community.
Yep. See you guys.
See you later.
Bye.